To start this tutorial, go to the Curve tab and use the Circle command. From the front view, type 0 in the command bar to set the center of our circle. Then type 25 millimeters and press Enter. Select the created circle and now use the Offset command. In the command bar, type 2.5 millimeters and, from the front view, click on the outer part of the circle to create the offset. Now select both circles and, in the Surface tab, click on the Extrude command. Make sure the solid option is set to yes, and the both sides option is also set to yes. Now type 1.25 and create the solid. Zoom in on the lower right corner of any viewport and, while holding Shift, click on the Shaded button. This will automatically change all viewports to shaded mode. Now we have the base of our earrings. To continue, we will create several curves to help us build our model. Go to the Curve tab and switch to the front view. The first thing we will do is cut the top part. Press the Rectangle command and activate the Grid Snap option. Now, using the grid, create a rectangle 6 millimeters, 6 squares, wide, and 7 millimeters high. It should be centered and cut the top part of the earring. Now go to the Solid tab and use the Cut command to cut the solid with the rectangle. Select the rectangle, press Enter, and then select the solid. Now restore all views. Next, we'll continue creating our curves. Go to the Curve tab, use the Offset curve on Surface command and select one of the top edges. Make sure you choose the correct direction by hovering over the selection options. Once selected, type 1 in the command bar and press Enter to create the curve at a distance of 1 millimeter. To improve curve visibility, move it to one of the user layers by clicking the corresponding arrow. Select that same layer to ensure new curves are created directly in it. Now use the Line command, and from the front view, type 0 to set the center as the start point. Then, using the grid, create a diagonal line starting 2 millimeters from the bottom of the solid and 8 millimeters from the Z-axis. With the help of the grid, simply move up 3 squares as shown in the video. Now use the Project command to project that line onto the solid. Restore all views to observe the projections. You can delete the original line. Whenever needed, use Pan, Zoom, and Rotate, followed by Zoom extends all to center the elements in all viewports. In the Perspective view, you can delete the rectangle created earlier. Select the top circle, and while holding Alt, click on the gumball arrow to create a copy at 0.75 millimeters. Move it to the Reference Curves layer. Now, in the Transform tab, use the Mirror command. Type 0 to set the center, then hold Shift and click on the right side of the viewport. Now we have 2 more reference curves. Return to the Curve tab and create a line from the top line. To make it perpendicular, use the front view. In the Perspective view, ensuring perpendicularity can be tricky. Use the Offset curve on Surface command again. Select the solid's edge, ensuring the direction points inward. Type 0.5 millimeters and press Enter. Repeat the process with the bottom edge. Our model is filling with reference curves, but they will make the process easier. From the Solid tab, use the Push and Pull command. Hide the center circle to avoid command conflicts by selecting it and typing Hide in the command bar, then pressing Enter. Now select the Push and Pull command, select the solid's top surface, and press Enter. When the red guides appear, move the cursor inside the solid and type 0.35 millimeters, then press Enter. Thanks to the reference curves, we've created a channel 0.35 millimeters deep. Repeat the same procedure on the lateral side. Push and pull, select the surface, press Enter, move inward, type 0.35 millimeters, and press Enter. Now we will create the curves to position the gemstones. Go to the Curve tab and use the Extract IsoCurve command. Select the solid and ensure the direction is set to you. With the help of OSNAP, click on the channel's midpoint. For the lateral part, use the Offset curve on Surface command. Select a channel edge and type 0.75, which is half the channel width. Adjust the curves to prevent the gemstones from intersecting with the solid. We'll trim the curves to leave a margin at the edges. We'll use the Point command to select a point at each end of the created curves. We'll do this for all 4 ends. Then, we'll use the split command to cut the curves at these points and delete the remaining curve segments. We'll repeat this process for all 4 ends. Select the curve, run the split command, select the point, and press Enter. Now select the curve and, in the Diamond tab, use the Gems on Curve command. Then select the solid as the reference surface for orientation. The gemstones will automatically position themselves. Go to the Prongs tab, activate it, and adjust the parameters so the prongs don't stick out of the solid. Set the height under girdle to 0.2 millimeters. Select a different metal layer to distinguish the prongs and activate the cutters, using the 4th preset. Now you can confirm the command. Repeat the same process for the lateral side. Select the curve, use Gems on Curve. Select the solid as a reference, activate the prongs, set the height under girdle to 0.1 millimeters. Activate the cutters with the 4th preset and confirm. Now we have the elements in different layers. Let's create the earring clasp arms. From the perspective view, draw a straight line at the upper opening. Use the mirror command to reflect it to the right side. Set 0 as the mirror center, and while holding Shift, click on the top to mirror the line. Hide the lower circle with the Hide command. Return to the Solid tab and use Push and Pull. Select the first surface. Notice that it creates a perpendicular solid. In the command bar, select Direction and choose 2 points from the solid's upper edge for vertical orientation. Now the solid is perpendicular. Extend the arms, making them long enough to trim later. Repeat the procedure on the right side. In the command bar, select Direction and choose 2 points from the solid's upper edge for vertical orientation. Now the solid is perpendicular. Now we'll switch to the Curve tab and create a line for the hinge of the earring. We could place it at the bottom, but in this case, we'll create it on one side. Remember that OSNAP, with the perp option enabled, will help us create a perpendicular line between the 2 reference curves. We'll create the line as shown in the video. It doesn't need to be an exact point. I'll leave that to the modeler's discretion. Now go to the Components tab and use the Hinge command. Select the solid and click the midpoint of the line with the help of OSNAP. The hinge axis will be displayed. After confirming the command, the hinge will remain in place. Let's create the final reference curves for the last channels. Since we want the hinge axis to be solid, draw lines to keep the channels away from the hinge for added strength. Draw a line leaving a margin near the axis. Now select the projected curve on the left side and click Explode. Delete the inner curve to avoid conflicts with Push and Pull. Type Show in the command bar to reveal hidden curves. Select the inner curve, and while holding Alt, use the gumball to copy it 0.6 millimeters away. Use the Mirror command to reflect it to the right side. Set 0 as the mirror center, and while holding Shift, click on the top to mirror the line. Hide the central curve. Now we need to create the inner rails of the earring using the reference curves. To do this, we'll use the Push and Pull command. Go to the Solid tab and click on the command. Select the surface, press Enter, move outward, type 1.2 millimeters, and press Enter. We'll create the right side channel similarly. First, draw a margin line. Then perform 2 push and pull operations. Both extrusions should measure 1.2 millimeters. Select the surface, press Enter, move outward, type 1.2 millimeters, and press Enter. Select the surface, press Enter, move outward, type 1.2 millimeters, and press Enter. We're almost done. Now let's trim the arms. Go to the front view, activate grid snap, and draw a line about 2 millimeters from the top. Select the curve and use the trim command to cut the arms by selecting the lower solid portion. In the Solid tab, use the Cap command to close the solid. Then use Fillet Edge to round the arm edges with a radius of 1 millimeter. Press Enter. Now we will cut the solid on the left side using the cutters. To do this, we'll use the Boolean difference command. Select the solid, press Enter, then select the cutters and press Enter to apply the Boolean operation. To hide all curves, type Cell Save in the command bar, and then type Hide. Now select the left part and the prongs and join them with Boolean union. Since we've only modeled one side, we'll mirror it. From the top view, draw a line through the earring's center. Select the curve, use the trim command to cut the solid along the line. Select the cut part and mirror it, setting 0 as the axis center and holding Shift to click on the left side. Now the top part is identical to the bottom. Mirror the gemstones the same way. Select them, use the mirror command, set 0 as the axis, hold Shift, and click on the left side. Now our model is complete, except for the clasp. Import the clasp and position it using the gumball. Extrude the reference curve with the gumball until it extends beyond the arm. Move it slightly left to cut the solid. Use Boolean difference. Select the right solid, press Enter, select the extrusion, and press Enter. This will create the clasp's insertion slot. Join the small tab to the solid using Boolean union. Lastly, we need to create the hinge pin. In the Surface tab, we'll use the Extrude command. Select the edge of the hole created for the hinge and extrude it to the other side of the solid. Then, in the Solid tab, we'll use the Cap command to close it. Now the model is finished. We just need to create a copy, position it, and render a beautiful image to showcase it. We'll leave a rendering idea and look forward to seeing your final renders based on this model.